Hey everyone, and welcome. Today, we are diving deep into the world of pods. Now, I know what you're thinking, you've seen them, you know what they are, but we're going to take that familiar idea on a journey from a simple convenience to something that could literally be a lifesaver.
Right. So when you hear pod, your mind probably jumps to this, a little private space to catch a few Z's at an airport or a busy office. But what if we took that basic concept and completely reimagined it as a tool for survival? That is the incredible leap we're going to explore.
For pretty much all of us, pods are all about one thing: temporary rest. They're a really clever fix for a very modern problem, How to find just a little slice of peace and quiet in a world that never seems to stop.
And we see them popping up everywhere, don't we? You've got the classic capsule hotels for travelers on a budget, the sleep pods in airports that are a lifesaver on a long layover, nap stations in those forward-thinking offices, and even these super high-tech wellness pods designed just for relaxation. But here's the question that changes everything. Is that it? Have we really perfected the pod just for convenience? What if we've been looking at this all wrong? What if this technology's real purpose has nothing to do with rest and everything to do with rescue? What if a pod could be redesigned to offer real safety in a crisis, to give dignity to people who need our care the most, and to ensure survival? This is where the story gets really interesting. Okay, so before we can really launch into the future, we need to understand the here and now. So let's do a quick run-through of the history of the pod as we know it, this handy little tool for sleep and travel. So this whole journey really kicks off back in 1979 in Osaka, Japan, with the world's very first capsule hotel. The idea kind of simmered for a while, and then, bam, in the early 2000s, companies like Metronaps brought the energy pod into the workplace. Fast forward to the 2010s, and they're a common sight in airports. And today, well, the designs are just getting wilder and more sophisticated all the time. So if you boil it all down, today's pods really fall into a few main groups. You've got your classic stacked pods in capsule hotels, the comfy ergonomic nap pods for a quick power nap at the office, the super practical airport pods for layovers, and these fancy new wellness pods that are all about de-stressing. And what's the one thing they all have in common? Comfort, privacy, and convenience. All right, time to pivot, because while we've been busy making pods perfect for napping, some much bigger problems have been growing in the background. Problems where our current pod tech just doesn't cut it. Let's talk about the gaps in innovation. And we find ourselves back at that big, central question. Is a quick nap really the end of the line for this technology? Or is there a much deeper, a much more urgent human need that it could be redesigned to serve? So what is that need? Well, it's a perfect storm of challenges, really. We have an aging population all around the world. For many, mobility is a real issue, making something as simple as taking a shower both difficult and, honestly, pretty dangerous. And then there's the huge challenge of keeping them safe during an emergency, like a fire. This, right here, is the opportunity we've been missing. And this brings us to the absolute heart of our explainer today, completely reimagining what a pod can be. We're about to make the jump from a simple nap station to a fully integrated life-saving care system. Okay, let's look at the first concept. It's called the hydro cocoon. And the name pretty much gives it away, right? It's all about water and safety, and that is exactly what it's built for. The absolute genius of this thing is its dual-purpose design. On a normal day, it's a gentle 360-degree warm mist shower and air dryer. It's perfect for someone who needs a little extra stability. But in an emergency, the whole thing transforms. So check out this basic diagram. You see those petals? They actually telescope inwards, closing around the user to form a protective, heat-resistant cocoon. Then a water curtain flows down the inside walls, shielding the person from intense heat. It's a shower that literally becomes a personal fire bunker. Think about that for a second. Okay, on to the next concept. This one is designed to solve an even bigger mobility challenge. This is the HydroNest Bed Shower Pod, and it's for people who might be confined to a bed. And just like the cocoon, this thing is a master of disguise. For daily care, a matrix of nozzles built into the bed itself allows for full washing and drying without the person ever having to move. But in a fire, that same system kicks into protection mode, enveloping them in a fine survival mist, all while being shielded by fire-insulated walls.
The real innovation here is just how completely integrated the technology is. The bed is the system. It's not an add-on. It's the whole shebang. That nozzle matrix and the gentle mist canopy work together to provide comfort 1 minute and life-saving protection the next.
Now, I know this all might be sounding a little like science fiction, but it is totally grounded in some very real, very clever core technologies. So let's break down what actually makes these concepts possible.
First up, and this is the big one, flexible plumbing. We're not talking about the copper pipes in your walls. This is advanced, heat-resistant, crush-proof tubing that can be woven right into moving parts, like the walls of the cocoon or the mattress of the bed. Essentially, the plumbing becomes part of the structure.
Next, you need something called multi-inlet redundancy. It sounds technical, but it's a really simple, brilliant idea. In a fire, you can't risk a failure. So this system uses multiple water feeds. That way, if one water line gets damaged or the pressure drops, which happens all the time in fires, the pod can keep on working. It's a built-in backup plan.
And finally, here's the magic that ties it all together, switchable modes. A system of smart valves lets that one plumbing system do it all. It can deliver a gentle cleansing mist, then switch to warm air for drying, and then in an instant create a dense, fire-retardant fog for protection. It's one system that can wear many, many different hats.
So this whole journey, from a simple nap pod to a life-saving care system, just goes to show how a familiar, everyday object can be completely transformed. And it leaves us with one last thought, right? What other everyday objects are all around us, just waiting for us to reimagine them for a much, much greater purpose?